Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation today is Gaudi Gwareri Mahalla Tija. Jina Gurmukh Dhiaya Tin Puchho Jai, Gur Seva Te Man Pate Aaye, Se Tanwant Har Naam Kamaye, Pure Gur Te Soji Paaye. हर हर नाम जपो मेरे भाई, गुरमुख सेवा हर काल थाए पाई रहाओ। आप छाणे मन निर्मल होए, जीवन मुक्त हर पावै सोए। हर गुण गावै मति उत्तम होई, सहजे सहज समावै सोए। दूजे भाए न सेव्या जाए, हऊ मैं माया महा बिख खाए। पुत कुटुंब ग्रह मोहया माए, मन मुख अंधा आवे जाए। हर हर नाम देवै जन सोए, अंधन भगत गुर सबदी होए। गुरमति विरला बूझै कोय, नानक नाम समावै सोए. So in this passage, we get some advice from the third Nanak. And he says, Hara Hara Naam Japo Mere Pai, addressing people like us, my brothers. Hara Hara Naam Japo. Naam Japo. Naam, as we have seen, implies knowledge. It implies a different kind of consciousness that comes from self-knowledge, from examining the self within. That simply means getting in touch with your real self. Because we might think that we know ourselves, but the fact is that we really don't. So, Har Har Naam Japo Mere Pai, my brothers, reflect on self-knowledge and then internalize it. Japo has a broad connotation, which means to recite, to reflect, to contemplate, to absorb, and ultimately to internalize. It's a whole process. So internalize self-knowledge after reflecting on it, after absorbing it. And in such a way, your life will be fruitful. And how do you do that? By adopting Guru wisdom. Gurmukh Seva Harikal Thai Pai. So by adopting Guru wisdom, the hard work that you do on yourself will bear fruit. That's the central message of this Shabad. And then Guruji says, Jina Gurmukh Dhiaya Tin Puchho Jai. So in real life here, in our ordinary living, when you wish to obtain knowledge about a particular domain, what do? One looks to the experts in that particular domain. It's a pretty logical thing to do. And that is what the Guru is suggesting here. Jina Gurmukh Dhiaya Tin Puchho Jai. Go ask those Gurmukhs who have done this and who have fixed their attention on the teachings of the Guru Enlightener. Go and ask them. And it is only by doing that that the mind will be fulfilled. Gur Seva Te Man Pate Aaye. Satisfied, fulfilled. Se Tanwant Har Naam Kamaye Pure Gurte Soji Paye. Se Tanwant. They are wealthy indeed who have earned the wealth of self-awareness, because they have found discernment from the perfect Guru. And what is the discernment that they have found? Aap pachane, self-recognition. Man nirmal hoye, the mind when it is devoid of impurity, it recognizes its true nature. Aap pachane, man nirmal hoye. So nirmal, devoid of impurity. What is the impurity? The impurity is the ego, which distorts reality, which creates dual awareness. That's the impurity. So when you remove that dual vision, you see the one. That really is the message. Aap pachane. And Jivan Mukta Har Pave Soy. So once you do that, recognizing the self, the mind is liberated. Jivan Mukt, while alive, being free, liberated. Now, mind you, the bondage is obviously not a physical one. The bondage is a mental one. It's the mind that is imprisoned in its own making, or a prison of its own making. It's like a spider weaving a web and then getting trapped in it. That is the state of our mind. But when you remove the ego through Gur wisdom and see and recognize yourself, that bondage, that prison is broken. And you then come to harmonize with the self. Har gun gave, mat uttam hoye, sahaje sahaj, with natural ease. Samave soy. Sahaje, sahaje sahaj. Sahaj is an important concept because what is being said here is that once you remove the ego, you spontaneously enter into that state because it is sahaj. That is to say, it is always with you. It is always with you. You're not manufacturing anything new. You're simply reverting to your own pristine state. And as long as you are in an ego consciousness, which is called duje pae, it is not possible to actually serve the Guru or to learn from the Guru because the mind is caught in world play. Duje pae na sevya jaye. Why? Haume maya mein bikh khaye. Because haume, ego consciousness, is poisoned with the delusion of being a center of experience, of being the creator, being the observer, and attachment to family and children that comes as a result. That's the blindness of ignorance that traps the manmukh. Put kutumb kari moh maaye, manmukh anda ave jaye. It renders the manmukh blind, spiritually blind, that is. And ave jaye, you just bounce around meaninglessly. Har har naam deve jan soye, andin bhagat gur sabdi hoye. Knowledge of the ultimate self is given to that seeker who is constant in devotion and dedication to Gur wisdom. Andan bhagat gur sabdi hoye. Andan, constancy of practice, devotional practice. Andan bhagat gur sabdi hoye. And this can happen only through the Gur enlightener. Because the enlightener teaches you to get in touch with dimensions of consciousness that you cannot otherwise get to. However, the caution is Gurmati virla bujhe koi, virla, the rare individual who actually adopts Gur wisdom and obtains bujhe, actually gets the discernment of the self, the awareness, the intuitive awareness of the self. Nanak name samave soy, says Nanak, through self-knowledge is the self realized. And that is a special kind of knowledge which comes from the Gur. That's the key. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.